Hey guys, my name is Daniel. I'm the founder and owner of SkaMiDan skating school and skate shop in Wein am Rhein in Germany. During the last weeks, months and years, many of you guys have asked me how to skate and slow down when skating downhill. And today is a wonderful sunny day, and the perfect day to show you some basics and advanced skills for slow down and braking when skating downhill. So let's have fun with the video, and let's go! First of all, in this video I would like to and will show you 6 different braking methods. However, I won't go into as much detail as you know from other tutorials. This video is intended to serve as inspiration to show you what braking options are available. You can find my detailed tutorials on the respective braking methods on my website as well as in the video description down below. But let's start with the first braking method. The first and best known braking method is the heel brake, which many people also call the stopper brake. With this braking method, we brake by pressing our brake pad onto the ground with as much force as possible. This creates friction, causing us to slow down and ultimately come to a stop. To apply the heel brake, we first bend our knees deeply by pushing our knees forward. Then we fold our hands over each other and place them slightly above the knee on the side of the braking foot. We then press our thighs together so that they form a kind of board or flat surface. This provides us with stability and helps us to avoid getting stuck or losing our balance when skating over stones and sticks. Now we push our braking foot forward, preferably as far as possible. And only then we tilt our skate and start braking with the stopper. In this position we can now use our arms, our body weight and our strength to put more pressure on the leg and the brake pad. The disadvantage of the heel brake is that we need such a brake. Moreover, a heel brake can be dangerous in various situations, especially when performing tricks. The advantage of the heel brake is that we don't have any additional wheel wear and we can use it in most situations. The braking distance can be described as medium, so it is neither particularly long nor super short. The second method is walking sideways. To do this, we stand to the side of the slope and then we simply walk down. By walking sideways, we don't start rolling, which means we don't get any unwanted speed. Therefore, it is important that we also keep our knees low, as well as to push our knees to front right above our toes. Our hips should always be above our heels. And this means we are not stretching our buttocks backwards. Now we have 2 options. We can either run sideways, stride to stride, and thus maintain excellent balance, or we can walk sideways, step over step, crossing over each step. By crossing over, we can run much faster and therefore get down the slope quicker. Overall, this method helps us to avoid rolling unintentionally. In theory, we can also use it to slow down. However, we need to be able to skate very well for this, and if we can do this, then we can use other methods to slow down faster. But the advantage of walking sideways is that we don't even start rolling, and it's super easy to use and we don't have any additional wheel wear. The third method of braking is walking backwards. On the one hand, we can use walking backwards as a braking method from slow to medium speed. Or on the other hand, directly from a standing position to prevent us from running faster or gaining too much speed. When going backwards, it is important that we bend our knees low and lean our upper body in the uphill direction. We start in a wide V position and then let our skates roll backwards towards each other. As soon as the skates have rolled towards each other, we open the V again by repeatedly taking many small or larger steps outwards. The further we lean forward to the uphill direction, the greater our braking power and the more safely we can go down the hill or slope. I know this method can be a little scary for beginners at first, because you're standing backwards to the slope. But it's super easy to use, and you can see here that it's not a problem if you go too fast. In case you go too fast and get scared, you can simply drop forwards onto your protectors and nothing can happen. The drop height is also super low as long as you keep your knees bent and lean forward. The great thing about this method is that you can get down the mountain quite quickly, but in a controlled and fast manner. The disadvantage of walking backwards is that we can only use the method from backwards, otherwise we have to turn from forward skating to backwards first. The advantage is that this method is very easy to use, we can prevent ourselves from speeding up and we can even slow down while skating. This method is also suitable for skate parks or slalom skating and is so suitable to anywhere where we have to skate backwards and brake. And at last but not least, there is no additional wear on our wheels. The next method is slalom skating or carving. In slalom, we skate down the mountain or slope in curves. To practice, we simply skate as many figure eights until we feel comfortable doing so. Depending on how wide the path or road is, we can make smaller or larger turns. The bigger the bows we can skate, the easier it is. But the technique also works on very narrow roads or sidewalks. The flatter the curves, the slower we skate down the mountain. The steeper the curves, the faster we skate the slope. When carving, we now have the option of skating with one of our skates only on the back wheel. This allows us to easier change the skating direction. If we speed up and have to brake harder, we can lift and put down the upper skate for several times, and this for each turn. And so we generate a small braking effect with each step. The disadvantage of this method is that we generally need more space rather than less. If we are overtaken by a car or a cyclist, for example, we have to pause our braking briefly, which means we can become very fast quickly. But the advantage of carving is that the method is very simple, it's a lot of fun, and we only have a very little wear on our wheels. The fifth method is called Snwo Plow. With the Snwo Plow, we brake by pressing our wheels into the ground as hard as possible while skating to an A position. The deeper we bend our knees and the more we push our body weight backwards, the better we can brake. When snow plowing, however, we generally have to lean as far back as possible so that we don't trip over our own feet. As soon as we have skated together at the front, we have to open our skates up again. To do this, we simply take 2 steps or re-rotate over our wheels and make an arc. This technique is also a part of the trick called lemon, which we also know from freestyle slalom skating. By the way, my detailed tutorial about the lemon you can also find on my website or in the video description down below. A variation of the Snwo Plow, which is also suitable for steeper slopes, is forward step skating. There we no longer skate with both skates at the same time, but only let one skate roll inwards at a time. We skate down the hill in a V position while we let our skates roll alternately for a short distance at a time. The disadvantage of the Snwo Plow is that it makes it very difficult to slow down and control at higher speeds. In addition, the right Snwo Plow requires a lot of power, especially if the descent is longer. However, the advantage of the Snwo Plow is that we can brake in a very targeted manner and can also use it in combination with another braking method. For example, we can first brake a little with the plow and then switch directly to another braking method. Let's move on to the final braking method for this video. Some of you will probably be expecting the T-stop at this point, which is also a really good method for braking. And I mentioned the T-stop here, but for now I don't recommend it for braking on a downhill slope, at least not on a long downhill slope. But why? Well, to perform the T-stop correctly without damaging your spine, you need a lot of strength and the execution must be flawless. Watching my detailed skate tutorial about a T-stop, you can find out more about this topic. That video is also linked in the video description and you will also find it on my website. However, a much better method is the Powerslide. The Powerslide may seem more difficult at first, but once you start practicing it seriously, you will notice that it's not that difficult at all. The Powerslide is kind of a reverse T-stop. During a T-stop, we put a skate behind us, which is not necessarily good for our spine. With the Powerslide, on the other hand, we push the skate away from us and can use our body weight to do so. With the Powerslide, it is important that we lean against the direction of moving, bend our knees deeply and stretch our braking foot far back. In order for the Powerslide to work properly, we have to tilt our foot strongly. The more we tilt our foot, the less friction on the ground and the lower the risk of tripping over our own foot. And of course, I also have a detailed tutorial for this, which I have also linked in the video description. So we have now looked at 6 braking methods. As soon as we have mastered one of them, we will be able to skate or go down a mountain or slope safely. At this point, please let me know which braking method you prefer for slopes or which one you would like to learn next. You may be using a completely different method that I haven't mentioned in this video, but if you still have an idea for another braking method, please let me know. I'm always happy to receive new ideas for further tutorials. Speaking of tutorials, on my website you will find a large number of tutorials on a wide variety of skating disciplines, and more are being added all the time. Learning together from and for each other, sharing the passion of skating, that's what SkaMiDan stands for. And now, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week and much more. See you in the next video. Yours, Daniel.